great into here.
Okay. Well, I came to Western in 1968, and over the next 15 years or so, I began to stretch my own interest in ethics beyond philosophy itself, which is my field of training, to address ethical questions that other faculty and other departments were interested in. And we began to develop relationships. I actually taught for many years. I taught a course on ethics and communication with Jim Jacksa in the Department of Communication. Shirley Bach, who eventually joined the Department of Philosophy, in the College of General Studies, and she and I and a number of other people got together to talk about ethical issues, some of which pivoted around research ethics, things that people who are doing research that involve the use of human participants, whether they be students or others. It was during this period in the late 70s and early 80s that Shirley spearheaded the establishment of our Institutional Review Board. And anyway, she and I and others began to talk together. And at some point, I began to think that maybe it would be good if we had an ethics center which would attract people from across the university to get together from time to time and talk about our shared interest in ethics. And finally it came to a head when I received a phone call from Vivian Weil at the Chicago Institute of Technology. Actually, it's the Illinois Institute of Technology, and she said that someone on my campus was doing some work on whistleblowing for her, and she recommended to him that he contact me and talk with me because she knew that I was interested in whistleblowing. Vivian was a philosopher. Jim Peterson, the person at Western, was in sociology. So the odd thing was that through Chicago, one of my colleagues who was residing maybe 300 yards away from my office found out about me and that we had some mutual interests. I thought there has to be a more efficient way of colleagues from different areas finding out about one another's complementary work. So Jim Jacksa and Shirley Bach and I started talking about, well, maybe we should have a center. And in the late summer of 1985, we just put out a calling to faculty that we knew of, that we had learned about one way or another, that we thought had interest in ethics. We sent out 20 invitations to come to a workshop, a 3-day workshop in August when people were on vacation. Let's get together and talk about our mutual interest in ethics. This also coincided with the arrival of Dieter Hennecke as our new president. And anyway, 19 of the 20 people invited showed up for 3 days. And Dieter Hennecke was walking around the campus, went into the Student Center, saw us, wondered what were we doing there at this time, and we told him briefly, and he got quite excited and thought this was a really good idea. So out of that meeting, we said we want to have a center. And of course then we have to have a home, and we have to have some money. And Mike Moscovus was Associate Vice Provost, and he said, well, you could have $3,000. Would that help? And we thought, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. And he said, of course, nothing interdisciplinary ever works around here. So one of our dedicated goals for the last 30 years is to show that we have some staying power. And so we feel that we have succeeded in sticking around for a long time, but we went through a long evolutionary phase. We wanted to have a home.